Hi guys, good afternoon. Happy Saturday to you and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest and super great episode of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, which dropped a surprise on us, by the way. They dropped their newest episode a few days ago instead of yesterday, this past Friday. That's okay. It just caught me a little off guard. I didn't know they were dropping an episode in light of the Thanksgiving holiday, but that's okay because it just meant we got it that much sooner. So, and I enjoyed it very, very much. Now, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you're not caught up on Monarch, Legacy of Monsters by the latest episode, which is episode 3 of season 1, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. So first and foremost, I kind of wish they had showed our 3 heroes, Keiko, Bill, and Shaw escaping the big bat dragon monster that attacked and destroyed the Lawton. But they didn't. They just jumped ahead in time 2 years later to when they were more well established and they found a footprint of Godzilla's. So that was kind of a bummer, but what made up for that was the reveal of a brand new ice-breathing monster, which sadly killed Shaw's friend, the Korean pilot guy, which was a shame because he was starting to grow on me. But I thought, of all these characters in this immediate little inner circle, if one of them's going to die in this episode at the hands of a monster, it's going to be this guy, unfortunately. They just introduced him. They only introduced him as a necessary character to get them from point A to point B. And of course, once he had served his purpose, so damn. But it was still cool to see that awesome monster reveal, and the fact that it could breathe ice and freeze its victims or its prey was pretty cool to me, no pun intended. And it's not that far-fetched for me either, because if you think about it, Godzilla blows atomic fire breath, so why wouldn't there be a monster that could blow ice breath? It makes sense to me. Then again, it is a fantasy show about monsters living in our world, so there's that factor to consider as well. What also surprised me about this episode is that I liked how Lee's boss, General Pucket, played by the Swede and the sheriff from Peacemaker, I like how he wasn't as closed-minded to the possibilities of monsters until he saw the footprint, saw the big G-Man himself, but unfortunately his attitude about the monsters were, hey, I'm reciting the exact words you just said to me. They are an existential global security threat, an ongoing security threat. So these things got to be dealt with. And it's cool because we got to see them do what we saw in the opening credits of Godzilla 2014, which is when they're all sitting on the beach and in disguise of atomic bomb testing, they actually set off a bomb to try to kill Godzilla, which of course we know doesn't work because he thrives and lives off of radiation. The blast may have knocked him off his ass momentarily, but he'd get right back up. It was great seeing the G-Man too. I loved that awesome watery reveal as he slowly rose out of the ocean and he's like, hey, a snack, but then it literally blows up in his face. I was like, damn, they did the G-Man dirty. That sucks. But it was still pretty cool to see him. And I felt so bad for Keiko because I would have done the same thing. Like, no, you can't do this. You can't kill Godzilla. I'm going to stop you. And I would have run towards the satellite as well, too. But of course, it was too late. And in a way, Shaw saved Keiko from, being in trouble with the U.S. Army and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a shame, but it was still cool to see Godzilla. And obviously, we know he didn't succumb to that atomic blast, and he probably just shook it off, and he got up and swam away. So, but it was still great to see him. And the other thing that surprised me about General Pucket is that instead of having the attitude of, well, Godzilla's dead and defeated, end of story, end of Monarch, instead, he's like, well, what do you need? What do you want? Like, what does Monarch need and want in order to continue? Because Shaw was able to convince him, hey, there might be other beasties out there just like that. We got to keep going. We got to remain vigilant. And it seems like that's what convinced Puckett to be like, okay, whatever you need, you got it. And that was a nice surprise for Shaw, and it was a great surprise for Bill and Keiko, who probably both thought they were going to be out of a job now that Godzilla was destroyed. So that was a nice surprise as well, too. I also loved the exciting escape sequence from the Lee's retirement home in the minivan, which was pretty cool. And the whole thing at the Korean border was pretty funny because I was like, okay, something's going to happen between these two Korean soldiers here. Oh, that's Shaw's friend. Okay, there we go. Now he's helping them get the hell out of there. So this episode felt very well balanced, going back and forth between the past and the present. And unfortunately, we did lose a few characters, but we also got an awesome reveal of a new monster, an ice breather. And we also got to see the G-Man himself, even though it was in the form of a flashback and we were trying to kill him. It was still great to see him because he's just oh so majestic and truly a spectacle to behold. And that's what I love that this series so far is doing, is that they're embracing the spectacle that is Godzilla, the spectacle that is these beloved monsters and iconic creatures that people have come to know and love over the years. So the show really seems to know who they're catering to, and how they're going to deliver that is pretty exciting and awesome. So I'm very excited about the ongoing coming episodes, as I hope you guys are too. And I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful rest of your weekend as well. Stay tuned to this channel for a couple more videos I've got coming your way. I'm playing catch up on all my content, so thank you for bearing with me. Monarch Legacy of Monsters drops new episodes every Friday on Apple TV. Have a good one, everyone. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.